What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly, the show where each and every week we talk about our favorite comics, our top 5 comic book news. I'm Chris, Dark Avengers C86. Next to me is Kat Comic Uno.
Hey, what's up?
And actually, right below me, if I go like this, right below me is Mike, Spider Slayer Comic Book Corner 2.0.
I can just point to myself. That makes it easy.
That makes it all easier.
The easiest. Now, unfortunately, Michael is not going to be with us tonight. He has some stuff that he had to do. Then he got sick. So
he just definitely wasn't going to make it either way.
He was just definitely out from the beginning. Brant, Last Ember Press will be with us at some point soon, hopefully. But yes, it's just 3 of us right now. Sorry, I had to refresh my comments. It froze for a moment. So let's get into the new. Oh, I need to know something. The contest we had last week, we did not get contacted, correct? Because I checked the email. I didn't see anything.
Not that I know of. I'll double check, but we could redo it for this.
That's what I'm saying. If we did not get a reply back, I think Kat's checking the email. I will.
Yeah, we didn't. So
okay. So last week we had 2 winners. We had a first place and a second place. Neither one contacted us. So this week again, we're going to give away the Titans Season 1 and 2 digital codes. So if you're interested, you comment below, or if you just comment in general, we'll put your name into a pool. Stay till the end so you'll know who won. And the winner will email Comic Frontline, and we will send you the codes. Stay till the end so you know if you won or not. Okay.
Or at least watch it at the end. You
exactly.
Don't go to sleep and then watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, watch the ending tomorrow to see if you won, because I feel bad because I know both people are going to be on the show tonight, and both people they've lost out on the chance to win.
We'll also mark the winner in our comments as well. Maybe that will help with our email. Yeah. So we'll do that.
Yeah. Did you guys hear? Speaking of which, hi, Mike, Manhattan. You won last week.
So if you want to take your prize, let us know. All right. Well, I guess we'll get to some news.
Into the news, that's for sure.
And first up, we got some comic news, and that is a new Chew spinoff, just called Chew, but not spelled the same way.
Is it his daughter?
It's was it his daughter? I think it was. Not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm excited for this book because it's bringing back the world of Chew, and so if you're a fan of the series, you're probably going to like this. And it's explained by layman that this is a great jumping on point. You don't have to really read the previous series to get what's going to go on in this series. And it's kind of cool because he said, he had the bug, the urge to rewrite, to write the series again. He missed it. So I think this is awesome, man. I'm so excited for it. So I'm on board all the way when this comes out.
I'm excited because this will be the first time, because I think Mike got me into Chew way towards almost the end of the Chew series. So I'm glad to be actually there at the very beginning of this Chew series, and I'll be able to start it from the beginning and watch and read it all the way through.
Yeah, the artwork is what makes that series for me.
Well, actually, if it's a good jumping on point, hopefully I'll check it out then.
I will say, I know we talked about Farmhands before, but for some reason I was watching Comic Palace. They were talking about it again. It piqued my interest. The artist that does Chew does Farmhand.
Yeah.
I've read the whole series like literally in 2 hours. I got all the way up.
I think I read the first 6 issues and I just fell behind in it. And I still collect the issues, so I still haven't got a chance to catch up.
Oh, dude, if you stopped at 6,
yeah,
there's a huge between 7 and 10. Something huge happens. And then the current issue, the cliffhanger leads into the end of the 3rd book. The 15th issue comes out this week. Oh, that's going to be one of the first books I read, I think, tomorrow.
Right.
Damn, there you go.
Mike Manhattan said, wasn't Chew supposed to get a TV show? At one point, it was optioned for it. That's why that first issue is a lot of money. It actually, I think it was like, I think if it's graded, it's probably worth a few $100s. So there's definitely a demand for that first issue of Chew.
I think Chew, Walking Dead. I'm trying to think of other first issues. Invincible.
Paper
Saga.
Girls is probably going to be a good issue 1 as well when the TV show comes out.
Saga is worth some money too.
Saga.
Mhm.
Saga. Do I still have it on the wall? No, I took it down. Oh no, yeah, I do. I actually have the first issue on my wall signed all the way at the end. It's signed by,
Oh wow!
I think it's signed by Brian K. Vaughan.
It's just
Yeah.
signed by you, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Signed by me.
He
You know,
forged it.
it's worth $1 million just because I signed it. I had
There's
nothing
no
to do with it.
certificate of authenticity on there. You signed it.
That's
I
pretty
have,
cool.
oh, actually, I do have the certificate of authenticity. That's from Midtown.
Oh, do you?
Yep. So it
Brian
has.
Kavon does a good amount of Midtown stuff.
Mhm.
Tevi is telling us there's a Deceased 2 announced, but I know Tom Taylor was teasing something on
He was
Twitter, but I did
teasing
not
it.
see it officially announced.
The only thing I saw deceased wise is that they're releasing a figure line. I saw that in the previews magazine that I got this week. That's all.
All I saw is these teasing images, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like I didn't see it was Deceased 2. Maybe it is, but it could be like a mini series. You don't know. So I
There's
don't know.
a portfolio book coming out with all the deceased covers. Maybe that's what he saw. I mean, it could be true. I'm not saying he's wrong.
The hardcover
Oh, yeah.
has all the current covers in it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We'll
Oh
see.
no, I mean
guess.
the poster book. Like you can pull them out. They look
okay.
like 8x10s.
Gotcha.
Deceased 2. I'm looking up on Twitter to see if it's.
I'm just
I
happy.
don't see anything announced officially.
I'm just happy Tom.
Oh no,
Taylor,
it was.
Oh,
Okay,
what?
I'm sorry. Well, not really. He just says hashtag Deceased 2. So it
he's
looks like there
teasing
is.
it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like it's not officially yet, but he's teasing a lot of different stuff.
Hey, he teased that Gabby's coming back in X-Force. I'm super excited about that.
If Tom Taylor, if MegaCon happens, I hope it doesn't get canceled. But if it does happen, Tom Taylor's going to be there. I'm going to see if I can try to bring my DC stuff and see if I can get it signed.
Oh, that'd be good. Also, maybe even Gabby's first appearance if you have that, because that might
Yeah.
be.
Should
Might be
do
worth
that.
it.
What is that in Wolverine?
All new Wolverine issue.
Is it 3 or 4?
About 3 or 4. One of the first 5 or 6 issues.
I'm gonna look it
first
up.
appearance.
Let's see. First appearance was All
Trade.
New Wolverine issue 2.
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that'd be a good one to bring too.
yeah.
I'd bring the trade. Let him sign
gotta-
the trade. The trade of deceased. Let him sign the trade also.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
yeah,
how
why
much
not?
did it get?
Is it they usually charge you to sign it, but do they sign more than one book?
Depends on
at
the
New
writer.
York Comic-Con, yeah, New York Comic-Con. I just took books up to people and they signed it for me. The Charles Soule Death of Wolverine, I only had to pay for the book at another vendor. He signed it for me, no problem. I think if you have a pile, they charge you. But if you only have,
That's what I'm curious. Like if I gave to him and I'd say, "Oh, hey, I got 8 books,"
Mhm.
like, is
I
it
don't-
still going to be $25 or is it going to be like $200? You
Oh
know,
yeah, it definitely won't be that much.
No,
It'll be like
no.
$5 if you bring a pile. They don't
Yeah.
charge you.
I mean,
heavy.
right?
I never got charged for somebody signing a book I own. Usually what they charge you for is if you want, like, if they have books on their table,
Yeah.
or if they have, like, if it's an artist, you know, they have those pictures. I never had to pay for a writer to sign any of my books.
Yeah,
Right.
it really depends on the writer, depends on the
That's true.
line.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that.
Just, if there's a huge line, I think David Finch was charging. I think when we went to New York Comic Con, David Finch was like a
And
$5.
also they have organizers that,
Mhm.
you know, or whatever it's
Right.
called.
Well, I know,
Sketcher or
like-
whatever that does it.
I think
Yeah.
we had Azzarello there a couple years ago, and he was charging, and Gail Simone was charging, and so there's quite a few people charging. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to let us know. And I guess honestly that goes into our next topic, which is Emerald City Comic Con has been postponed because of the coronavirus. So the big thing, I mean, I think it was the right decision because Seattle has a lot going on there. It's not just
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just can't, like, they got a lot of cases there, so it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, very worried about, like, especially like people like me, people that are trying to sell their books and put a lot of money in printing their books and getting tables, getting hotels, getting, you know, planes.
Well,
And
what do they do for you? Do they tell you that they're going to give you like the because you're going to be there? Do they tell you that like you have to wait and then they give you the new date and they can reserve your table?
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna be at Emerald City Comic
you
Con.
weren't? Okay.
No, that wasn't one I was gonna be at. But there's definitely worries for like San Diego. I'm going to that, and
New
then
York.
obviously
I'm sure New York is a worry.
Baltimore. I'm doing Boston Fan Expo. I'm
Are you
doing a
doing
lot
Brooklyn Expo? I got an email about that.
I've done a couple of Brooklyn shows. They're a bit smaller and
That's why
a little
I'm
bit.
not thinking of going.
Yeah, but I mean, go as a fan, scout it out, and then see. But I also do like so many Comic Cons. Sometimes it's hard to list them all. But if you want to just try them out, definitely try going to that. But yeah, going back to it, it's obviously a lot of money in the hole, and I hope they, I think everyone needs to be safe, but I also hope they don't cancel everything at the same time. So hopefully they figure out a happy medium in that regard. And I would say the hotels and the airplanes need to be more friendlier to that. The con seemed perfectly fine giving the money back. At least Emerald City Comic Con was, but I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. It's going to be a crazy year overall. They already canceled stuff like Coachella, and not canceled, but moved into October. So yeah, we'll see. San Diego Comic Con especially, I'm very curious about.
Yeah, I mean it's the right thing to do, because being that Seattle is, like you said, a hot spot, and you get people from all over, the last thing you want is from those people from, say, like nearby states coming into that area, possibly getting, risking themselves getting infected, and then going back home and not knowing it, and then they're spreading it into their hometown. So it is an unfortunate situation. Obviously, we all know at this point it's not just the Comic Cons, but it's an economical just chaos right now, and it's affecting the entire world. So hopefully, the cons it's disappointing, but let's get the world back to normal first.
Oh yeah,
back to the cons, right?
I think that's the most important thing. Like, even coming from my side and spending money on stuff like this, it's just like, I want to be safe. I don't want to get sick. And I think everyone feels the same way. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a case by case basis, and we'll see what ends up happening. And hopefully everyone stays safe. Just the other day, Harvard closed classes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Harvard is doing online classes, which I feel like sucks in that regard, because it's just like, you're paying all that money to go to Harvard, you want to like be in class, you don't want to just get it on computer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're talking about possibly closing UCF over here. Same thing, doing virtual school. There's all kinds of talks going on right now, and Orlando's on high alert too, because we're such a hot spot for tourism, people coming from all over. Just think about all those people that ride those rides, so it's a big deal also. It's so crazy, man.
Yeah, again, you guys have to be safe, and everything is a case by case basis, like ICTV Vinny just said, and do what you feel is best for you, and that's what you gotta do. But yeah, we covered that. I feel like people wanted us to discuss that, because it is obviously not just a hot topic in comics, but all over the world. So all right, let's go into 3 Jokers mini officially announced. So this has been a thing for a couple of years, I feel like now. And honestly, since DC Rebirth, it was teased, and now we're finally getting this mini series. Artwork looks really great.
Really good.
Yeah, it's like, is it too late? Like, it's the same thing as Doomsday Clock. Do I care anymore?
I'm still curious about the story arc, just because 3 Jokers in the same place at the same time.
How many issues is it going to be?
Probably going to be a 5 to 10 issue mini, maybe.
Let me see. I feel like it's going to be 3, but I might just be making that up, because it's 3 Jokers.
And who's writing it?
Jeff Johns.
That is Jeff Johns.
Jason Fayback.
Oh. I mean, it probably is going to be a good story. My thing is that, did he already write the story and it's going to come out on time?
Yeah, or is it,
I still have to write the story and it's going to take a year to come out?
Exactly.
Well, maybe that's why they've been waiting on it. I don't know. I hope they learned their lesson.
Right. Like, it'd be awesome if he just wrote the story, it's already done, and it's just like boom, 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 we get it done. You know?
Yeah, I mean the artwork looked really cool. So I remember there was like a cool Batgirl panel from, I don't know, probably a year ago now. But yeah, I'm gonna pick it up, at least that first issue, and see where it goes.
I think that, especially since Shazam is back on a monthly, it hasn't really been delayed lately. Knock wood.
Hasn't been great either, but it hasn't been delayed.
Quality over it being on time is, I totally agree. But I think maybe Johns is getting into a rhythm again, which is good. We'll have to wait and see. But I'll probably end up getting it because I'm curious what they're going to do with the Joker.
Yeah.
Plural.
Jokers. Moving on to Steve Orlando joining Marvel. So he's obviously been a DC guy. He's done Wonder Woman. He did Midnight, I believe, and he's done a lot of stuff. I can never get into his writing though, sadly. I always wanted to. He always writes characters I like Supergirl he wrote, but never could get into his stuff. But interesting that Marvel's taken some DC people. Mike, did you want to discuss that one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's cool. I mean, regardless if you kind of might not be into his writing or whatever it is, but it just shows you like this guy was an exclusive guy over at DC, and he's kind of like, later, I'm going over here, you know? So, and you get it vice versa. You get Marvel guys and going to DC. We've seen it, obviously, with Brian Michael Bendis. But it's like maybe one person that doesn't shine. Like, he's pretty good, but like for some people, if he doesn't shine over in DC, he might shine over in Marvel. So you never know. So this could be a good thing. It just depends on what he does over there. So I think he's doing that one book, right? That I don't even remember what it
was like Dr. Doom, I feel like was one of them. Yeah.
Like a 3-person book or something like that.
I want to just spotlight this a moment because I want to know if this really would be considered that. DT says, get those Justice League 50 3 Jokers first appearance. Now, I understand it's a first appearance of the 3 Jokers, but is it a true first appearance? Because all 3 of these Jokers existed before. So is it considered truly a real first appearance, or is it just a first time they're together? I don't think that it's not like Punchline. It's not like, Spider-Gwen. I feel like it's just going to be the first time we see them together. I don't think it's that big of a key issue.
I think it's a key because of the. I don't know if I would agree. It's not considered a first appearance, but it's like a big moment. It's like, all right, Supergirl's death is a key issue because she died, or whatever.
Right.
So it's a key moment because all 3 of them are together.
Yeah.
Right. That's probably, so. I guess, right?
I'm already buying Justice League, so for me, it's not.
Yeah, me too. Do you guys want to talk about the Nightwing situation?
Sure. Yeah. It came out this week, I think. The costume. Yeah. Let me actually go on your group page. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, I feel like Dan Jurgens is trying so hard with Nightwing to get him on the road to recovery, but
I don't know if this was the road to recovery. Definitely not interesting me. All right, let's see if there we go. There we go. Well, that's where I found it. Here we go. Those are. He just looks so generic. It doesn't even look like him.
It's generic Nightwing.
Like, look at him. He's just like, he looks like a 60s character or 50s character.
Notice his curls are back from when he was Robin. The 2 curls in the front are back. Also, I didn't know.
Growing out his hair, I guess.
It's like his mask looks like a bandana with like eyes, right? It doesn't look like a mask.
No.
Right.
Like, and then, who is that guy? I don't know.
Right. And then go back to his full picture, Kat. You guys can check this out on my group page too. Comic Book Corner 2.0. Webheads Unite. Join it today. Yeah, look at that. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. What's with the red and then the, like, is that blue or is it black?
I think it's black. I mean, if this is a different superhero, I'd be like, oh, it looks fine, I guess. But because it's Dick Grayson,
Are Dick and Tim running a bet over who can have the worst costume?
I would say Tim
Dick's
still
ahead.
wins that. No, I think Tim wins that. He had stupid wings for his costume.
Yeah,
That was
it's true.
That wasn't functional.
That's
See,
true.
it doesn't look right with like no cape, right? It just he's like swinging through the city like Spider-Man, but then he's got like I mean, I don't know, it just looks weird.
I never see Dick other than when he was Robin with a cape.
I don't know, man. This just looks weird. But yeah,
Even
the belt is weird. I just stop my screen share for a second. But
I don't know, but I'm tempted to read it though. I might read it when it comes out because I know it's Punchline.
It already did. It came out this week. That's the
This
costume.
one,
from
that's
week.
this issue. Oh, it is this issue. I thought it was the Punchline issue.
No, it's this Nightwing issue.
I'll have to go back and read it then.
Yeah.
I'll go check it out.
Good luck.
Comic reboot of Golden Age character.
Yeah, it does, honestly. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What about when he was Batman? He was an interesting Batman for a time.
I mean, at least his story was interesting. Like, I enjoyed it. And then I guess Tevye said when he was a spy. Some people love that book. So
I don't think I have read a good Nightwing story because you guys know that I did not read DC at all until the New 52 came out. And so I like never really liked Nightwing then.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I try his book, I just don't like it, you know? And I don't know.
The New 52 was pretty good. That was probably my favorite because I wasn't into Nightwing as much until probably before the New 52.
Right.
But I really liked Kyle Higgins' run on the character. I thought it was pretty good.
I think when he became a spy, I thought that was pretty stupid too.
I didn't like it. That was Tom King's first like big story for DC.
Who wrote that? He did write that?
Tom King? Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know that.
I actually went back and trade paperback. I'm trying to find out how many I think it was 9 volumes have been reprinted already. I read the original stuff. I just liked it tons better than New 52.
Yeah, like the 90s stuff. I like reading like random 90s issues from Nightwing, but I've never like read it all the way through because I was never like a hardcore Dick Grayson fan.
That's the problem. And I know that they're releasing a deluxe edition from previews of volume 10. I think I have up to volume 9. I don't want to pay $100 for a deluxe. I want the regular volume 10 edition.
I don't know. When you see that picture of him, it just doesn't fit like the Bat family.
I don't even know what it fits besides Dynamite.
I guess, when you look at Jason Todd, I mean, like you would kind of think of the same thing, but he's been wearing that same thing forever.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know. Makes sense, I guess.
I feel like his look also was, at least they had the helmet. I don't know. Aesthetically, it looked more interesting and more original, I guess. This just doesn't look very original. I heard the Elseworld Kyle Higgins story was good. I forgot what it was called, like Nightwing something. I actually didn't like it. It was like, I remember Chris read it all the way through. I think I only read the first issue.
Which one?
Remember that one? It was like Nightwing. It came out like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was him. It was like an Elseworld story. I don't remember what it's called.
He was, yeah. I read that all the way through. Yeah, it ended.
New Order. There we go.
New Order. Yep.
Tevye got it.
It was good. It was all right. It wasn't the best, but it was okay.
Tevye says he really liked that one. I know some people really enjoyed it. All right, let's go to the next thing, which is Mariko Tamaki and Mikkel Janin will be taking over Wonder Woman, which I'm really excited for this. I feel like Wonder Woman's been really struggling since Greg Rucka, and I'm a big Tamaki fan and Janin fan. I mean, that was one of the best aspects of Tom King's Batman was his art. So really excited to see, hopefully this become a flagship title again. I'll at least check out that first issue.
I will see it too. However, when it comes to Wonder Woman, we've had so many writers on this book.
I don't know what to do with her. G. Willow Wilson was on this book.
Yeah, but she's not on. She wasn't on it very long.
No.
And then it's just like, I mean, we've had a ton of writers. I feel like Meredith Finch was the longest writer besides the New 52, who started the New 52 one.
Oh, well, who was the writer for? I know Greg Rucka did the DC Rebirth one. He did had a long run.
Right.
Yeah, I think he did the New 52 one as well. I think. No, it wasn't. It was Azzarello who did the New 52 one. Azzarello, I think, did New 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a long run.
He was on that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've had a writer like that for that long in a long time when it comes to Wonder Woman. And I think that's part of the problem. I just don't think we can get a writer that kind of knows what to do with her, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's not a hard character, but she's also a hard character to write because she just has so many iterations. But also, you have the movies that are so well received, and a lot of people like them. So it's just like it's weird that they can't really get a handle on her. It's like kind of like the Supergirl thing at this point too, where they just keep canceling that book. All right, let's go in. Unless Chris, do you have anything to say about the
Wonder Woman? I'm trying to figure out about the volumes. All I know is with Nightwing, Volume 8 was the last one numbered.
We're back on Nightwing.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure it out. Now there's after Volume 8, there's this one that's coming out called Nightwing Super Cop. That continues from 71 to 83. And then they released earlier in the year a Nightwing by Peter J. Tomasi, which is issues 140 to 153. They didn't release 71 through 83, but they released 140 through 153?
I guess maybe it was the more important arc. I don't know.
This is why when you have a publisher that hates a character, you never get a full run.
I mean, it also just has to do with sales and all that.
Oh, yeah, the Tomasi run was pretty good.
Mike Manhattan says Rob Liefeld should write Wonder Woman.
What?
Did he draw it too? I would love to see that. I would want to see him draw Wonder Woman.
No, thank you. I would skip on that.
A lot of pockets.
We do have some newer viewers here. Gerald says Finch was really good on the book, never given enough time. I agree. I thought Meredith.
I liked it. I read it then. I thought it was really good.
There's something different.
They both did it. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's really when we actually had them. We interviewed them. On the show.
Yeah. We did. That was very cool. We also have Cougar Crumbly. I've been collecting Wonder Woman for the last 60 issues. I'll probably be dropping it in the summer. I just remember She-Hulk, where all they talked about was food. I remember She-Hulk was up and down. That's my worry. But Mariko Tamaki, like, she usually focuses on character, which is what I'm looking forward to. So we'll see. I'm also going to check our Gmail to see if Mike Manhattan messaged us or if he's going to message us. That way I don't have to write down. Just let us know, Mike, if you're going to message us. That way I don't have to write down the people, because you did win last week. Okay, let's go to the last topic, Bill. I will screen share this as well, just in case no one saw it, but I'm sure everyone here has seen it. And this is what it looks like. It's a car. There's another picture.
It looks like an aluminum piece of shit.
It looks kind of like a Hot Wheel toy.
It's like a NASCAR. Like, you know how NASCARs are built for speed? Mm-hmm. It doesn't look very, like, durable, right?
Yeah, what is it doing, you know? Like, I guess it's fast.
Argument to people who hate the Batmobile is this is supposedly Batman Year One. So it's like as he's coming into being Batman. So this is like his first car, like his first Batmobile kind of deal.
We have Gerald Lynch, who says, I did a variant cover for Meredith Finch's Rose number 15. That's awesome.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if there's any of your work, Gerald, that you want us to showcase, we obviously would love to. So if you have like a portfolio or whatever, we could screenshot it.
Manos loves the Batmobile.
Yeah, I agree. I like the tanks, you know. I that makes more sense to me. But I guess I want to change it up. Yeah, but this is like year one, so I guess it's just like you got to start somewhere. But
exactly, it makes more sense if it's Batman Year One.
I thought it was.
Huh?
I thought it was Batman Year One.
I believe it is Batman, like when he first became Batman. Like we're talking about.
It was. I think a lot of it's based off of Snyder's Batman. Yeah.
0 year. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I don't like the actor they have to portray Batman, but then again, I mean, if George Clooney could play Batman,
you gotta watch his other movies, Chris. You gotta give him a little bit of a chance.
I mean, I would rather George Clooney Batman than Bale Batman. At least he could talk. You could understand him.
you're gonna watch his other movies. And you're gonna be like, oh my god, Kat, you're so right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that like Good Times. I think that's what it's called, or Good Trouble. Good.
Oh,
Good
you're
Times,
talking
I
about
think.
the act. I forgot his name. But
Yeah, the actor.
Oh, I am not condemning him because he did Twilight.
Twilight.
Not condemning him, not at all. Are you kidding? Cindy would kill me. She loves Twilight. I love my sparkling vampires.
Oh man.
So we lost Mike. You see, you made me bring up Twilight, and we lost Mike.
That's it. He's done. He's done with our show.
I have nothing against the actor. As a matter of fact, if you look at him in the Batman suit, not the suit that looks hard. Well, it's a year one. He's got again, I'm just saying, I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see. If it's a year one, it could be great. Anybody could do better than George Clooney, though.
Sean Beast is
George Clooney.
I mean, good for you, because I did not love that movie.
I did not catch that. Wow, that was good.
Mike left us again. He's trying to catch that emblem.
Yes, I will say that. Yes. Oh yeah. After Batman, the return, the second Batman movie, when we got from Batman Forever and we moved on. Yes, I 100% agree that they went completely alien with the Batmobiles. 100% yes. I 100% agree with that one, Manos. Even though I was just gonna say, even though I kind of owned the car because when I was a kid, that was the only Batmobile they had. So, but yes.
We also have Bradley Kahn who says, I think they should have made the new Batman movie about Nightwing. Be something different.
Robert Pattinson is great in The Lighthouse. Robert Pattinson, thank you, Manos.
I haven't seen that one, but I'll have to put on my list.
Why? But yeah, he has a chin because his chin is too big. So you can't have a chin guard if you have a big chin.
You could mold one. And we have Nalo who joins us. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And
I'm sorry I made you leave with the whole Twilight talk. Cat's fault, not mine.
Yes.
Is he frozen?
I think he's frozen. I thought he was just trying to. Oh God.
All right, so I guess that's the last news piece, huh?
That is the last news piece. I don't have anything else for us, so.
Oh, we're all in tonight. Okay, so I guess I'll do Under the Radar.
Go for it. I think that's a good plan.
It's a good plan. So, Kat, what was your Under the Radar book this week?
Mine was what's it called? It's called Join the Future Issue 1. I really like this. If Brant comes on tonight, I know it's on his chopping block, so we obviously have very different opinions, but I love this book. I was surprised by it. I wasn't even going to originally pick it up, but the writer said, check it out, and I had opportunity to, so I did. And it's about this futuristic world where everything's perfect, and then on the other side of town, they're in this like Western pretty much, and they don't believe in technology. But then our main character has an asthma attack, and she has to use technology to live. And yeah, by the end of the issue, we get to see the futuristic people take over the town and kill her brother. So it's a roller coaster of an issue, and I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Mine, since Mike's not here yet, was Birthright issue number 42. We're in the war, baby. This is it. This is the final 10 issues. Mikey has, I believe they're called the Prophets, and it's to really lead Lore out of hiding. Mike, you back?
Yes.
Okay. We won't say the T word anymore because apparently if we do, you freeze out. So
it's my normal half-hour freeze out every time.
So Kat did her. We're in the Under the Radar. So Kat did her book, which is Join the Future issue 1, and now I'm talking about mine, which is Birthright issue 42.
Okay.
So Mikey has these prophets, and he's trying to lure out, and what happens is Rook ends up finally escaping from captivity, and now he wants to find Mikey. And believe it or not, they find a way to introduce werewolves into this book. So Lore sends these sleeper agents that look like humans, but really they're werewolves. And they attack, and it becomes this huge fight. And it was all really a ruse because he wanted to kill the Prophets. I'm looking forward to Decorum 1 by Hickman and Black Cat.
We're going to do that tonight we're gonna do a video for it. So tomorrow early you'll have a review for Dick Quorum.
Yeah. So look forward to that for our topic video this week. So what happens is Rook finally makes it, but they thought he was a monster from the opposite army. So he makes it to see Mikey, but the ending does not look good for Rook. I will say that. And in my review, I said we didn't get to see Brennan. I'm stupid. I don't know how I missed it, but he was on a whole page worth of panels. I don't know how I missed it, but Brennan actually was in the book fighting alongside the soldiers against the werewolves. I guess it just skipped my mind when I was doing the review because I did read that book first. So I'm curious to see about the witch that he tried to cure. We didn't see her yet. I don't know if he actually was able to cure her or not. Really good book. I've been really enjoying the series.
I'll have to catch up with it once it's over. I'm curious to see how it's going to end.
I'm curious also. There's rumors there might be a sequel possibly. I'll have to wait and see. But Mike, what was your under the radar book?
Mine was Black Cat issue 10.
Oh, I read it too. It was good.
Yeah, it was better because
Chris Anka did the art for that, right?
Yeah,
he was. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. This book was funny because you just got Cat teaming up with Logan and they're trying to get back this art piece and whatnot. And the funny thing is like Deadpool goes after Wolverine because he's like, dude, you're worth a lot of money right now. And he's like, face it, you have healing factor, so you'll just get out of this. But in the meantime, I can collect money. And it was just kind of funny. And then you just get to see Felicia impale him with a boat. And it was just like, yeah, that's awesome. You go, Felicia. Because I was like, freaking Deadpool drives me crazy. So for her to get the one up was really a lot of fun. It had this whole story with Kate Kilgore in it and stuff like that. And she was just trying
he had Logan's stuff, didn't he? That's who they stole it from.
What's that?
Didn't they steal Logan's stuff from Kate Kilgore?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool. It was a good issue. I had fun with it. Looking forward to the new story arc going forward here. And yeah, it's still not my favorite book, but it's not bad either. It's better than what it was from the beginning.
We do have Gerald Land. She's trying to share their portfolio. I actually found it online, so I could just share it on our little screen share. So give me 1 second. I just need to copy and paste the link. Okay, Gerald Land. And then that way you guys could go check out his stuff. I'm gonna screen share. This is his website. Awesome. Michael Myers right there.
Yeah,
and let me get to some of his illustrations. Nice. There you go. All right.
Mandalorian, man. That is awesome.
It's awesome. There you go. Hopefully this helps out. Go check out his website if you're interested in anything. He has a store over here too, an about page. So if you want to go check out his stuff, there it is. There you go.
Very cool.
So Brant's still not here, so I guess that is all the under the radar books. I guess we're going right into top 5 and comic discussion.
All right, yeah, guys, we're talking about the big books of the week and our top 5. I don't know if you did spoilers yet, Chris.
I did not. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. See, look at that. Mike's ahead of me this time. There it is. Here it is.
Whoop, 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 whoop. It's an emergency broadcast system. Please be advised that you could be spoiled.
You will be spoiled.
Yeah, it's indefinite. So it's imminent. It's going to happen.
Especially with this next issue.
Yeah. Flash. Issue 750. I did not read it because I'm not attached to this character, but only reason why I read it, why I bought it was, yeah, it's a 750th issue, and I wanted to see if it connected to Flash Forward at the end of what happened. And the last 2 pages of the book did it. So I basically bought it for 2 pages.
That same thing. I actually read it for the epilogue to Flash Forward, and I read it for the first arc because the first story, because it's leading into the next arc. And I saw Godspeed was back, so I was curious to read that. But everything else in the middle of all that, like that literally was the bread to the sandwich. Everything in between, I still haven't read yet.
There's a lot of filler. There's like a Captain. Well, one thing that didn't quite make sense. There's a story with Wally and Linda just hanging out. Linda.
Oh, was it like the date night kind of thing? No.
Yeah, but how does that make any sense if he's Morbius? How is he back with his kids? So I was confused.
Past, though? Did it say if it was in the past?
Well, the past technically doesn't exist because like that timeline doesn't exist. So
Here we go.
I don't know. It didn't say anything. They just were
DC.
happy.
That's DC Comics, though, right? You kind of get lost sometimes. Like, where does this take place? Does it take place in a different Earth? Does it take place in a different time? Did the time exist? Does it exist? Does it not exist? Like, that's what happens with DC, and that's what frustrates me with them sometimes.
Yeah, that definitely should have been checked up on an editorial because that was a bit confusing. The last page was interesting, but it's just like, do I care too much about this whole Wally West stuff? I'm a little fatigued, but I like the way the story played out, and I don't think it's worth buying though if you haven't read The Flash. I mean, it didn't give me enough to say, oh, I'm gonna go pick up The Flash now.
You know, I read it and I was like, this is going to determine if I get single issues, if I get trade, or if I just continue reading.
I'm not getting either of them.
I'm going to read it digitally because I'm interested in the Godspeed story, which was the first story where Godspeed's working for somebody. He's working for a mysterious benefactor. We find out at the end of the arc who it is. I won't spoil that because I can't remember the person's name anyway. And
you won't spoil it because you don't know the spoiler.
Exactly. So hush. Quiet.
Hush appears.
I did see that part. He looks like Darkseid.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I remember is this person
with a cape.
Yeah, and he has to kill all the Flashes because the Flash is going to destroy the future or something. So he tells Godspeed he has to fight and kill the Flash because the Flash can't exist anymore. And that's where the story left off, and it's going to be continued in 751, which weird enough comes out this week again.
Yeah.
Does it? Oh God. We do have a question from Barry Allen who said pretty much what cover did you pick up? I got the Nicola Scott Jay Garrick cover. That's the one I got.
If I would have bought it physically, I probably would have gotten the 90s cover. I read it digitally, so I got the standard one.
I got the Jim Lee one.
Nice. We all got different ones.
That's the 2000s, right? Is that the 2000s?
No, probably 90s, right? Because I feel like 2010 was.
It's a 2000s.
It's the 2000s.
Yeah.
2010 was Francis Manipool. Because I was like, which one did Francis Manipool do? Okay.
Yeah, that's the 2010s, I think.
Real Mano said DC is a mess. It's confusing timelines. Yeah, I think DC just went all over the place after Rebirth. Like every character has their own story going on while there's the main event in the universe going on while other miniseries are going on. It's just there's a lot of clutter. I feel like though they're gonna get back on track soon.
I hope so. Yeah. I just want to see more books. I think we've all been saying that. I just want to see more variety. I want to see more like what I've been enjoying about Marvel is that every book kind of feels like its own indie story, like its own run. And I think DC needs to really focus on that. And I think DCU was supposed to be that, but
oh yeah, no, Mano says it was a mess before Rebirth. I 100% agree. That was the whole point to Rebirth. Rebirth just didn't help it as much. It just kind of put certain aspects of pre-New 52 back in. I hope they do find me. I just want a good story. Like Kat said, give me books, give me good stories, and don't throw us all across the spectrum of time and space, and we'll be fine.
Exactly.
Mike Manhattan just messaged. He says he's picking up his codes. I got it on my Fitbit.
Okay, so I have to send the codes over. I'll send the codes over to our group. We'll email you the codes tomorrow.
Cougar Crumbly says, I saw that. That was a very nice way you positioned the camera and moved over so you keep your family member off the stream without their knowledge. No, I mean, I honestly just hate them right next to this door anyways. I'm like, I'm going to try moving over. But you guys have seen my family members enough on the stream. You're not going by again? We want to see you.
We've heard them talk.
Yeah.
We've heard the dishes run. We've heard the washing machine.
So definitely not hiding them, but
ice
also
machines. Just
the ice machines are great. I've learned to mute.
How old is that picture behind you, Kat?
I don't know, man. There's this picture of this bread woman, and anytime I have anybody over, they're like, I'm so mesmerized by this picture. But yeah, this one, I don't know, it doesn't have a date, but
Well,
I've definitely been around. It's 25 years.
Yeah.
It's definitely been around for as long as I've been around. So same thing for that picture over there. We don't replace our pictures very often. I should get a superhero picture up here or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just cover
change
it
it
up
up.
when you do your shows.
Oh, cover up the superhero.
No, cover up
picture?
that picture with
Oh.
put it with a superhero.
We could ditch it and just get. I got some nice. I had that big long Alex Ross Crisis on Infinite Earths picture. That could be a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That was pretty. That's a pretty good one. But we'll think about it.
All right. Well, let's move on then. Let's talk about Mercy issue 1. So, new number 1. I felt like the book got a lot of hype, obviously.
Artwork.
You know, the artwork, the cover, just a lot of stuff attached to it. And so when it came to Mercy, I loved the way the book looked inside it. However, I felt the book was a little bit confusing for me because the two women were very similar. So basically what happens in this book is you wind up getting this woman who suffers this traumatic event where she loses her husband in a mine shaft. There's this evil entity that's inside of it. And they kind of just like hold it against this woman, you know? Then you got some weird kids that are like, oh, I'm missing my mom. I've never seen her. She's like a fucking angel. And it's just like, okay, so you got that going on. And then you got the other random woman who looks just like the first lady who's riding in this carriage, and something's up with her, right? Like she's got powers or something like that. And she's coming from Seattle, making her way to the same place. I thought these two ladies were very similar. So I'm kind of thinking like, I was talking with my comic shop manager, and I was like, maybe it's the same woman, but from a different timeline. Like something happened in this cave, you know? So maybe it's something, I don't know, but I just don't like the way the story was told. There was just too much kind of going on, and it was confusing in many different ways. You know, I felt like maybe we should have got more story with the first character and then learn about the lady in the next issue, the other lady. I don't know. I just felt like the way the storytelling was here, it was just a little bit off for me. So that's why I'm probably going to give it a second issue. Maybe things will start coming together in the next issue because I really want to like this. And it is an interesting story, though.
It definitely.
No, you go, Kat. You first.
Mine is very quick because I didn't finish the book, which is why I didn't mark it down. But it was very much not my genre. It's very like steampunk and not of this age.
Oh, you didn't like the brothel? You didn't like the brothel?
No, the brothel was probably the best part. I don't
wow. Well, we know what Kat likes in the book. And what was in there. I'm not going to talk about that, but I mean,
was that in the first page? I don't even think I got up to that.
No, it was in the middle of the book.
Yeah, I didn't get up to the brothel then. I got up to like her just like walking her streets, and then I'm like, I'm good.
Wow, you really didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, I got up to like the first 2 pages. I'm like, this is not for me.
I'm curious if it's aliens, if it's monsters.
I'm coming back. My tablecloth is like all rearranged. So hold on. I'm listening.
Now the tablecloth is in the way.
I don't know. I want to know if it's aliens. I want to know if it's a monster. I want to know what it is because we got to see it at the beginning of the issue briefly. I mean, it killed the widow's husband. It killed the mother who's in the middle of the book who runs the brothel's husband. And she's still having nightmares about it, but we don't know what it is. And I find it, I'm interested. And apparently whoever these two strangers are, they are that entity or whatever it is in like a human disguise, and they eat people.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely didn't get up to any of that. So.
I'm sorry. I like a good horror mystery, and this is becoming a really quick horror mystery.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I'm just curious to see like how it comes together, you know? So that's why I'm really going to give it a second issue and see if I'm still going to like it or not. But the book's artwork is beautiful, and I really liked it, and it shows promise. I don't know. There was something lacking, you know, for me, you know, when you have independent comic books, I think, and you're trying to learn characters, when they throw too much at you, you tend to forget who this person is, what another person is. And then when they look similar, that even makes it harder to decipher who they are.
Yeah, I did have to go back and forth in the book because I was confused if it was the mother or if it was the woman, Mercy, who was the one in the very beginning of the book in the train.
Yeah.
I had to cross-reference.
Yeah, you get confused. Right,
yeah.
You do. Because they look the same.
Yeah, they do. Very much so.
So that's Mercy for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next, now let's talk about Strange Academy issue 1. This book was great, man. I had so much fun with this book. It exceeded my expectations. We get to see, it was kind of like a cross between X-Men and Harry Potter in a way. And just seeing these kids get introduced, where they came from, how they got put together as roommates, just everything coupled with the artwork and stuff like that. It was just a blast. They had so many great character moments in here. And this book shows real promise. And I felt like, yeah, this is the way you want to do in issue 1, right? So I had a lot of fun with this one.
I still have to read it. I'm a little on the side. I'm a little reserved because I'm not a fan of Buccella's artwork. I never was. So
no, Humberto Ramos.
Who's doing? Is Ramos?
Ramos. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Buccellaro that did it. Then that makes it a little better. But Ramos is not far behind Buccellaro.
I thought his artwork was really good here. It's probably some of his better artwork. I really liked the beginning of this book because we focused on one character. Once we got everyone else thrown in, I thought it got a little bit too crowded for me, which is why it wasn't a perfect first issue. Definitely gave me enough for another issue to see where this is going. But it wasn't my favorite, but I hope we focus more on certain characters in each issue.
I'd like to welcome in comic book Yu-Gi-Oh! Life entertainer Margarine. I'm looking forward to Superboy Prime returning.
Chris is the only one I think who's going to be left reading Shazam.
Look, no, I'm not reading Shazam. I'm actually waiting for the Superboy Prime arc to start, and then I might.
He's gonna be in Shazam though. So
he is in Shazam. He just got freed in the last issue. I'm reading the Prime part at this point because right now he's fighting Mr. Mind.
Yeah, it's been a long arc.
Ramos did a good job. Okay, I gotta read. I'll read it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Kat with Roberto Ramos's artwork. Like, he did really well with the facial expressions and whatnot. And Kat's right, there was a lot of characters in here, but they kind of had their moments where you got to see a little bit of each one, which I thought was cool. And for me, not being a magic person, I like this. And the cool thing is that this is not too much of a spoiler, Chris, but one person that's in this book is Nico. And
you don't have to worry about spoilers. Yeah. I'll still read the book. You know that.
I was totally excited to see her at the end of this book. I'm like, yeah, I was like, because I like her as a character.
I'll have to read it then. I'll catch up for issue number 2.
Yeah, it's cool that there's going to be some magic users. We know, like, Magic's in it. Like you said, Nico's in it. And I hope we get to see issues with them. But I think they're going to focus a bit on the team first.
Sure.
Which makes sense.
Absolutely. All right, so that brings us to our number 5 book. So, Chris, what's your number 5?
Birthright 42. We already talked about it.
All right. Kat.
Mine was Strange Academy. We already talked about it.
And mine is a book we already talked about, which is Black Cat, issue 10.
That was a quick round.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, man. So if you guys have any questions as well, please put it in the comments and we'll try to get back to you on those questions.
This is a quick top this week, so we might actually be able to get in some questions if you guys want.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the next 2 books. I didn't read either of these. I did not read Strange Adventures or Billionaire Island. So we'll talk about Strange Adventures issue 1. So what'd you guys think of that?
I'll go quick because Chris didn't read either of them.
I read neither of these, no.
Strange Adventures. It's Tom King, and I really wanted to like this book because I like his Mr. Miracle a lot, and I think there's potential, but it's a mystery of, so it kind of dives into cancel culture. So A ripoff of Harry Potter. I mean,
No.
I would say it's like it felt a little bit more like Magicians than Harry Potter. But anything with a magical school, you're going to compare it to that. But yeah,
Right.
Strange Adventures focuses on cancel culture. We have Adam Strange come back. He wrote a book, and then there's this one guy who says, "Oh, well, you were part of killing these people, and you don't know if it's true or not." And you get the back and forth of like, did it happen? Did it not? And that's the story, but there's not a lot of breadcrumbs of what actually happened for me to be very invested in the mystery. I'll definitely pick up issue 2 because something with Mr. Miracle, I didn't love issue 1, and then I loved, as the series went on. So, and I do think this is where Tom King's at his best, and I like the artwork a lot. So I'm definitely going to give it another try, but it wasn't my favorite premiere issue from Tom King because I usually think he's really good at issue 1s. But that kind of is conflicting with my Mr. Miracle talk. But with Batman and Vision and all that, I think he did a pretty good job with setting the stage for issue 1. But this one, not as much.
All right. So, and then what about Billionaires?
Billionaire Island is Mark Russell of Ahoy Comics. I am a huge Second Coming fan, so I want to check this out. This one had a really interesting concept about pretty much the 1% running the world. They have this private island and how they treat the middle class, but there was no real character to feel attached to, which was my biggest issue. Like, I like the social commentary, but I'll give it one more issue. And if there's still not a character attached to, I'll definitely drop this one. But I thought the artwork was good and it definitely has potential. And his social commentary plays better in indie titles for me than his DC titles.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, so we're going to move on next to the number 4. And Chris, what was your number 4?
My number 4 was, I got to make sure, Justice League issue number 42, The Eradicator. And you have the Justice League who were beaten by the Eradicator and the Daxamite clones in the previous issue. Now I liked the one part before I get into the book that I liked was the beginning part where you had the Justice League together and you had John Stewart angry at Batman because Batman. He has a plan. He's going to do it. He's not asking or telling anybody. He just sets his plan into motion. And he gets into an argument with Batman over, you had this plan. You didn't warn us. And then Wonder Woman got, caught in the fire and then she got left behind. And then he's like, but I have another plan. And instead of kind of like backing down, he actually says, this is a plan we should do. And he says X, Y, Z. We don't know what it is at first, but it involves the Flash. And Flash throughout this whole arc has been kind of second guessing himself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the issue where Flash has to not second guess himself and move forward. He has to actually, step up. And he does. He sets up a diversion. I like how Sodomyat does try to save Wonder Woman and sort of does. But Flash, who's the spotlight in this issue, steps up. He has the Eradicator and Daxamite chase him around the world, literally. They knock him down a couple of times. But then he finally gets them through this portal, and we find out that John Stewart's plan was to use Madame Xanadu on an alien world without a yellow sun, without any type of power source for the Daxamite clones, and trap them there. So if they want to get back to Earth now, they have to go through the Justice League first.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I read this too. I thought the Flash, they did justice for Flash. I thought it was a really good story. I think Robert Venditti's doing a great job with this book. And even though it's the first story arc, it's just like, it's great storytelling. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's like this classic fight between good versus evil. And it's just like at first you get the evil guys winning and then now you got the good guys pulling their punches. It's like a good boxing match. So I agree. I thought this was a great issue. I had a lot of fun reading this one.
Yeah, I loved it. I think this has been the strongest Justice League has been in a while.
Kat, what's yours?
Mine is, hold on, I have to get my list. Rescue 2020 issue 1. I thought this was pretty good. It was fun to see Pepper back. I do think there was this interesting lingering thread of she's so much better than just Tony's assistant that never really goes any further than that. But she has to go get any DNA from Tony's mother. And what I liked is that she could have easily just pulled a yank of hair out of her head and left, but she was waiting for her consent to get her hair. And Tony's mother really appreciated that. So I liked their dynamic a lot here, but the artwork was very subpar. It just didn't really do it for me, but it was good enough for me to get that second issue, and I love Pepper, and hopefully we get to see more of her in the future.
I was on the fence about buying this book.
Not a must buy.
And then I decided not to buy it.
Yeah, you're not missing that much.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I wound up buying out of all this Iron Man stuff is that Force Works thing. It's the only book that I seem to like out of it.
Yeah, I'm not picking up the regular 2020. I might pick up Ironheart. That's the only one, just because I read her original series.
Gotcha. All right, so my number 4 was Marauders. What are we on, issue 9 with this? I thought it was good. The beginning of this story was great. I love like Jean Grey on that, and I put that in our panels too. I love Jean Grey on that that Pontiac Trans Am and or Firebird, and it's just like she's on the hood of the car with the logo on there. I thought that was so fitting for her, and that was the beginning was kind of weird, you know, with Yellow Jacket. But then when we get to the end of it, like them trying to resurrect Kitty Pryde, I thought that was a tough moment. And then we get to see Lockheed come back, and he leaves his little human companion off to the side, like leaves her a half-eaten fish, you know.
Whatever's happening with Lockheed, though, man, it's all connected to Kitty. I'm very curious where that's gonna go.
Yeah, and then just flies away. I thought that was really cool. I thought the overall issue was a lot of fun, and you know, I'm just kind of on the edge of my seat because I just like I need to know more, man. I want to find out what's going on there.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
Marauders.
It'll fade in a moment. I'm sorry. I muted this instead of the computer.
It's cool. It's working now. Yeah, I like the Kitty stuff a lot. I liked how Emma especially reacted to Kitty's death, I guess, and where that's going. And hopefully we get some answers about it. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid issue overall. I like Marauders, so.
I love it. I have Marauders, X-Force, and X-Men set for trade when they come out. I'm subscribed to get those. I think Marauders it was a fun read this week, especially with Yellow Jacket, and I'm excited for Dark Knight's Death Metal. I'm excited for Death Metal as well now.
I am not, but
I mean, I want to see how they follow it up. You know, I want to see how Snyder's following. I mean,
I don't even know if I was interested in how they were going to follow up each issue when the original was going on. But I really feel like it depends on how invested you are in the Who Laughs storyline. I'm not particularly invested, but if you like that, then you're obviously going to really like that event. I did like the rock and roll moment from that original one. It was like the two pages that I liked from Dark Knights, or what was it called? Metal, just regular
metal at the time. I mean, we did get the Batman Who Laughs, who's another like alpha level bad guy.
Yeah, but he's just like all over the place. I'm like, what makes him so great?
It's like, God, let's give him a break, dude. It's like he's like in every book, you know.
I think even Batman Superman gave him a break now. They kind of left focusing him, and they went on to the Kandor story arc now with Zod resurrecting Kandor.
I guess because they're doing death metal and Hell Arisen and all
but
that.
then he returned to death metal, so that's
And he's in Hell Arisen, I'm guessing, because I think that's what that whole story is about.
And Supergirl is still affected by Batman Superman up until
Supergirl is going to be ending soon. So
I know. I was reading the preview of the last issue. Yeah, I'm debating if I want the variant or if I want the regular cover still.
Usually the regular covers. Well, it depends. I was going to say usually the regular covers do better with prices, but if it's like an Archer variant or whatever, obviously those are going to do better. What if Death Metal we get a Wonder Woman Who Laughs? I wouldn't be surprised if every DC character becomes Who Laughs at some point in DC.
Right.
That would kind of be an OD in my opinion, but I mean.
Gerald Lang says indie recommendations is Canopus 1 from Scout Comics. I've heard good stuff about Scout. I think I've only read one book from them though.
All right, so let's go forward, guys. Let's talk about kind of the Spider-Man. Let's do Batman issue 90. So, really great story. I love this book right now, and you get you wind up getting the designer, right? So the designer is the big bad. He's the one where you get his story revealed, kind of like how he's faced this detective, and this detective always beat him. So he figured that the way he got his name is that he would come up with a plan, sit down, and find a flaw in it, and then he would redesign the plan. So he's like basically this master planner, okay? And we get to learn how our villains, which was Catwoman, right? The Riddler, the Penguin
and Joker,
Harley Quinn, and the Joker.
No, just Joker.
Oh, not Harley. Just the Joker. Wind up going to the designer's house. They meet him because they left him a letter. They wanted to work together. He obviously gets a percentage off of what these villains do. And so everyone sits down, they have a talk to him. And then when it comes to the Joker, they sat down for hours and hours and hours. And obviously the Joker did something to piss off the designer. And just like that, the Joker shoots him in the head and supposedly kills him. And now you know why, when the designer returns, that he's after those other villains, because he's obviously designed a revenge or a plot against them to go back after them. And of course, one of the things was to go, after Bruce Wayne or Batman or whatnot. So
his money, Bruce Wayne's money.
Yeah,
That was
I thought it was a great issue. Really good story, I thought.
I do want to mention we had 33 viewers, so thank you guys for watching. Let's get to 40. I think that'd be like the highest we've got.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
So.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah.
But I agree. I love the artwork in this book. And honestly, the whole hoopla about Punchline is what really got me very interested in just Batman in general again. And I think this is a pretty strong story. And isn't it leading into the Joker War, this arc?
I think so, yeah. Or, I mean, we know we're going to be getting it. I will say this issue is very exposition heavy for me. So I just wish they'd kind of describe the story through character a bit more instead of Catwoman saying, well, let me tell you a story. I don't love that style of storytelling, but I do think it's going in a very interesting place.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree that it is going in a good place. And it makes you want to read the next issue, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal there. It's just like, where before it was like, oh, am I going to get a good issue? And then, oh, here's a love letter, blah, 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 blah. And then it would just
poetry.
Yeah, it was like this same thing. And now it's just like you're at the edge of your seat kind of waiting to see what happens here. So good stuff. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is Spider-Man Noir, issue 1. Now, I was like really excited about this book, and then I was bored to death by it.
Same. Oh, same.
Unfortunately, I love the artwork in this book. I thought it looked great. I love how it focused on the blacks and the charcoals and and the grays, and it fit this dark universe. But I just didn't find myself caring about this waitress that was killed, that belonged to this scientist, and they got to travel to figure out who the killer was. I just wasn't into it. So unfortunately, I'm not going to pick up issue 2 for this.
Yeah, I remember every single time a noir book would come out, that's the same exact feeling I would have. So I'm just like, I'm good. Gerald says he would love to see a Bendis Malieve Batman. Honestly, yeah, I would really want to see that.
In that. Yeah, me too.
That'd be cool.
And hello to Ricky Spanish, who says, "What's up, guys?"
Welcome.
As far as Spider-Man Noir, the dialogue was so. It was so. As I'm reading it, I'm just thinking of The Shadow. I'm thinking of all the books that take place back in the time of the way people would talk in the book.
Yeah,
it's. I'm a little bit, Mike. I know you're dropping it. I'm on the fence. It's like I really like Spider-Man Noir, but the story just didn't get. I just didn't care. And
there was nothing there that captured me. That
right,
really
exactly. But I don't want to drop it. But half of me wants
books
done, but it's like at the other half of me is like, but we could get something good in issue 2. So I'm like, I'm on the fence. I'm in the half and half side right now.
All right. So let's move on to our number 3. So, Kat, what's your number?
Sorry, real quick. Hello to Ruben Nieves.
Welcome. 34
Ruben,
viewers.
what's up,
Thank you.
Shane P. Oh, Shane B was here before, but he's probably picking up Noir. I saw the Noir thing for the art alone. Okay. Sorry about that.
So, Kat's number 3.
Mine was Marauders. We already talked about it.
All right. And Chris?
My number 3 was Batman. We just talked about it.
All right. My number 3 was Justice League, and we talked about that one too.
Tonight's been one of those nights.
Yeah,
we do have
right?
a question though.
And hello to Radio Matt Gaming.
Yeah, welcome. And if you want to spotlight the comic book comment, Chris.
This one?
Yeah. So, what does everyone think about Leviathan? I think all of us here didn't like it.
Here's what I think about it.
Bye, Mike. Yeah, I'm not getting the next Leviathan. Nope. No.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I might get Manhunter because I like that character, but I'm not getting whatever it's called. What is the next one called? Leviathan Uprising or
something
whatever.
like that. Yeah, no. I'm good.
That shit was advertised in freaking Superman villains. That shit tacular.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, how about you talk about Superman villains, Mike?
It was definitely crap. It was probably one of the worst comic books I read for the year.
Damn.
So when you get Superman and you get his identity revealed, right? And people know who he is, and you see this book where it says villains, you're thinking, oh, these villains are going to plot against Superman and they're going to really make him have a bad day, you know? So great. When you want villains, you want to draw them evil. Like you want them to look good. You know, you want them to look like, say, like Jason Fabic artwork or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Here you got some kind of mixture of different artists that did the artwork in this book. Okay. And it did not look good whatsoever. It was just like, really? And then the stories were like, they were just hodgepodges of things. Like Toyman was in there. The guy that's Leviathan was in there to recruit Toyman to help him. It was just so boring. And then you get one story in there with Supergirl where she watched the broadcast of him revealing the identity and she flips out.
Well, she's still under the influence, I think.
She's under the influence of the infected. And it's just like, and it says to be continued in Supergirl issue something. Now I get it. Marvel does the same thing with their books, you know, when they have events and stuff like that. But I wasn't expecting that out of this type of book. I thought it was going to be a story where the villains came and tried to destroy Superman. So it's definitely very disappointing and very underwhelming, in my opinion.
I'm not bothering with Superman. I'm going to wait till the creative team changes. I haven't liked Superman since 1000.
It wasn't even just Bendis, though. It was written by a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I think it's just the overall direction of the character.
Exactly.
And for me, honestly, it's always been hard to get into Superman. So, especially not really liking the stuff now.
Right. So, definitely disappointing, unfortunately. All right. So, let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue 13.
Buffy. This issue was a one shot about Kendra, and I didn't quite like it very much. Kendra's not a very fully fleshed character, and of course, maybe a one shot would make her fully fleshed, but I think they're relying on the fan base of that character, relying on previous stories to enjoy this storyline, and it just didn't do it for me because, again, we didn't really see much of her from the show or these comic books, so I think it was a little bit too soon to tell this story, and I've been saying that a lot about Buffy, so I was a bit disappointed with this one.
Gotcha. Did Chris read this one or no?
No, I think he's behind a Buffy. It's just me and Brand, but since Brand's on tonight, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So then in that instance, now we're going to move on to our number 2. So my number 2 was, yes, the book we just talked about, and that was Batman. And Kat, your number 2?
Mine is Miss Marvel issue 13. So glad to see this one a bit higher. And with this issue, we get a new character named Amulet, and it's kind of leaning towards the outlaw storyline. And it's just a fun issue where Miss Marvel goes to a carnival and has to defeat some bad guys, and her dealing with her romance with Bruno and just hanging out with her friends. And I always think those are the best Miss Marvel issues when they could balance her life with her superhero life, and I think this issue did a good job with it.
That's what I was going to ask you, if it was kind of hinting towards the outlawed situation.
It was, but not enough for like if you're only picking it up for Outlaw. Like if you're a Miss Marvel fan, you'll enjoy it, but it's not that heavy of a tie-in. They're just like, hey, Outlaw's next.
Yeah, so that's I think when I'm going to pick it up, because obviously Outlaw is getting ready to come out, and then I'll pick up because it ties into what Ms. Marvel, Miles Morales.
Yeah, so the next issue will be the Outlaw one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that one.
It's been an up and down roller coaster. It's definitely not as good as what it used to be,
right.
But there's some like good issues in between, and this was one of those good issues.
Gotcha. All right, Chris, what's your number 2?
Number 2 goes to Ghostbusters Year 1 issue number 2. This time focusing on Ray and the librarian ghost. Woman comes in to interview Ray. Actually, before we get into the librarian ghost, I did that one, Cat.
Sorry.
Ray talks about his first meeting with Egon, how Egon and Peter had the same class together, and he thought that Ray and Egon would get along because they're in the same kind of interests, and they all want to go for the paranormal psychology together. And I love how Ray and Egon like immediately like bond like almost best friends first meeting. And then we go to the librarian ghost where he rehashes what happened in the Ghostbusters first movie. And then the interviewer is like, you ran away. Did you ever go back? Did you ever fix it? And he's like, funny story. And then he gives the recap of the librarian or the head of the library coming back and saying, we still have this issue. And it recaps how they actually do capture the librarian ghost. And it was good. I love this. I actually decided to get this series instead of as a trade. I decided to just pull the trigger and get them individually. So I actually got issue 1 and 2. Issue 3 comes out in 2 weeks, and issue 4 comes out next month. So I just decided to get all 4 single issues.
We do have a question from Comic Book Yu-Gi-Oh! Life Entertainer. Do any of you guys like or not like Harley Quinn? Do you guys think that she should or should not deserve a break? I mean, I like Harley. I'm not the person who would read her ongoing series, but unless it's like spectacular. But I think she's a cool character.
I don't about the series.
Oh yeah, I don't read the series, so and I think I mentioned in the comments that and we lost Mike. It is like every half an hour. He's just like no Harley. But yeah, I think she's a good character. Are they using her too much? Sure, but I don't think it's as much as like what we're seeing from the X-Men or from Deadpool. I think it's just enough in my opinion.
I like Harley's character. I don't read her ongoing. I hope the movies don't overuse her because she was the only popular thing out of the Suicide Squad, in my opinion. And then they did Birds of Prey, and we don't talk about Birds of Prey, do we?
The movie, I mean, I think it's doing better than it originally was, and the movie was, it wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't like, oh my god, Birds of Prey. But then you have like Wonder Woman does really well in theaters, and it's not like they're overusing her. So
I mean, I like Harley, like when she was in Batman, last issue, she was really good teaming up with Catwoman. I love Harley in Sean Murphy. Oh, not come on.
Oh yeah.
Curse of the White Knight. Curse of the White Knight. I like her there. In little spotlights, I do. As far as like her own series, I don't read it. I did read it for a little while when she went and moved to Coney Island and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It got goofy. It's the same thing with me and Deadpool. Every time a new Deadpool comes out, I'm like, yes, I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to love it. And then, Kat, do you have a channel? Yes, she does. And I will actually put this up while I'm saying this. It's like with Deadpool. I fall out of interest with Harley after a while because it's the same thing. Goofy superheroes are fine, but like in Deadpool's case, he was a badass, and now Marvel's like, oh, everybody likes the Goofy, so they do more Goofy than actually showing his talent. And with Harley, I feel like DC's like they love the goofy Deadpool, so we're gonna make Harley more goofy. When Harley's a badass, Harley's awesome. She was great in Suicide Squad in New 52. She was good in several other series. Batman 89, she did a really awesome job with the team up with Catwoman. Again, though, it's however they portray it. I just don't like the goofy. When it's overly goofy, it's stupid.
Yeah, I think the way she's written right now in Batman is perfect. That's right. The way she is. That's her. Mm-hmm. Like when she's written in her own individual series, like you said, the humor I feel is forced. I don't have a problem with humor, but when it's over the top and it's too much, it just gets
Deadpool.
Yeah, it's like just like Deadpool, you know.
I agree. I like her balance, and I think in Batman they did a good job. I didn't read History of Marvel.
I didn't either, but if the trade's coming out this Wednesday, I might check it out.
I read the first issue of it.
And that's your answer. If you didn't get issue 2.
What was it? Like it went through the very beginning of
it just went through the entire Marvel universe and like all the heroes and stuff like that. I think it's a good informational story on how the Marvel universe works. And so if you're looking for that knowledge, I think it's perfect for that.
Then I might pick it up just to have it in my library.
Right. All right. So where are we at, guys?
I did my number 2.
I did my number 2. We just finished my number 2.
Okay. So, and I did my number 2.
So we're up to the big books.
All right. So we're talking about Outer Darkness Chew, issue 1. Now, Chris, did you read it?
I read it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'm not used to the way those two were drawn, like Kobe and
yes, I loved it though. I loved it when they first showed up there. It's like I feel different, and it's like the art's different and everything. Oh,
right. But what I liked about it was like when they went to the pages, like the original artists that did Chew, and they went to those pages, and they had the Mountie men with the maple syrup going after them was just absolutely hysterical. Like that is the definition of Chew. And to see that, even though it was only 4 pages, to see that back, I was like, man, this is so cool to see this story back.
Yeah.
And I was just really excited for it. And then getting shipped to the future and outer space, I thought that was awesome. And now there's something obviously that is possibly wrong while they're up there. It's just
dude, did you see when Colby read all 60 issues of his comic?
Yeah.
I was like, at first I'm like, they're showing like numbers and then they're showing his face, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then when you realize what he's reading and you go back and you realize what issue number it was, it makes sense, his reactions. And it's like, and then he gets to the end and he sees the last page and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We do have another new viewer, Eric Grigsby. So welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome in. You made it. Yes, you did.
Absolutely.
But I love this. I love this art. I'm getting this as a trade. I've already pre-ordered the trade. It's 3 issues, I think. Anyway, right? 3 issues, 4.
Yeah.
I thought it was a one shot.
No,
is it a miniseries?
No, it comes out in July.
Oh wow. You're gonna be waiting a while.
The trade comes out in July, I think.
Yeah.
And so
next
we're in March,
month.
April, May, June. Yeah, 3 issues, and then July.
So I think that's kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to more, and then that's when the new spinoff series comes out also.
Hello, Southern Comic Geek. Welcome in.
Welcome.
But I loved it. I really enjoyed this issue a lot. I've never read Outer Darkness, so for me, I was in here for the Chew stuff. And,
yeah, me too.
Oh, it was just so good. It was.
I think Outer Darkness isn't that like a very new comic that he had? No, it was like 2018.
It's newer
though. It's newer than Chew was, because Chew ended quite a few years ago already.
Yeah, I mean, we're still doing our show, surprisingly enough. But
how'd you like the panel where they're explaining time travel and the captain's like, not even a layman could understand, and he goes, editor's note, yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was gonna be one of my panels, and I didn't make my panels in time. I'm so upset. I wanted that so bad.
You should have just had that one panel over and over.
Should have. My number 1 through 5, this panel.
Just that one.
Just that one. That's it. There is no other panel this week.
All right. So, and that was the big book before we actually go on to our number 1. And my number 1 book of the week was a book we already talked about as well, and it was Strange Academy issue 1. I really had a lot of fun with it. So it was not a Harry Potter ripoff. It was fun.
It wasn't. It didn't feel too Harry Potter to me.
No. All right, Kat.
Mine was Join the Future. We already talked about it.
Chris.
Mine was Outer Darkness Chew. We just talked about it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I feel like very different issue ones, number ones this week.
That's right. All right. So now we're going to pass it on to Chris.
For the chop block, everyone. This is where we're talking about our chops, and I think we're gonna have a lot of half chops this week. I already mentioned mine. My half chop goes to Spider-Man Noir. I'm still in it for Mercy, though. I was debating it, and I'm like, no, I need to know, so I'm not chopping it at all yet. So just Spider-Man Noir for me. Mike?
Mine is Spider-Man Noir. Definitely.
Full. Okay.
Yeah, full chop. I have too many books to read. I don't need to read something, that's a mini series that I didn't enjoy after the first issue. Mercy is a half chop because I feel like that story has potential and it's interesting. But is it going to be a story for me? I don't know that yet. So we'll see what happens with it.
All right. And Kat, what are we chopping?
Mine is half chop Billionaire Island. I do want to give it one more issue, depending on the week. If it's like a 20-issue week, I'll be dropping it. But if it's a regular week, I will. I'll see what the next issue is about. But yeah, wasn't a lot of character in that one for me.
Gotcha. All right, and that's all our chop block. I guess now we're going into key issues. Who does anybody want to take over key issues, or do you guys want me to do that? I'll just run down the list.
Yeah, it's on you. So
okay. So we're going to start with Decorum issue 1 comes out next week, and we will be doing a topic video on that tomorrow. It will be going live, so you can check that out. Does anybody have anything they'd like to mention? Well, no, we're going to talk about it in our topic video, so we can hold on.
Yeah, we all read it, so it'd be too much of a spoiler.
Exactly true. Snot Girl issue number 15 is coming out tomorrow. I know.
That's where I'm at. It's the book I care about. Yeah, this book comes out like 3 times a year, but I absolutely love it. And it's one of those books, even though it doesn't come out very frequently, I know exactly what happened in the last issue because I love the story so much. So very excited for Snot Girl.
Okay. Then we've got Stealth issue number 1. Anything on that?
I don't have an opinion on that one.
I already heard that this book was actually pretty good. So this is this superhero book. Takes place in Detroit. And it's kind of like a cross between, like, you would think like a Falcon and an Iron Man type of character. And I don't know what happens, but I heard there's like a plot twist to it.
Okay. So that sounds interesting.
I think I don't even have it on my poll. I think I'm just going to go to the shop and pick it up. Hopefully they'll have quite a few issues of it.
Usually with the indies, they at least have one. We actually talked about this pre-show. I don't think we talked about that on the show.
Well,
yeah.
Jay, first of all, and I actually I did pre-order the incentive, and then I got an email back from DCBS saying that it's 1 per customer, and there's a chance that they might sell out. So I'm just gonna be keeping my fingers crossed for the next 2 months. Is it 2 months? About?
So is this the one that I was talking
90.
About? Is this the one that I was talking about?
Next month. No, 90 is this month, 91, 92 is next month.
Wasn't this 90? And it was, Mike. This was the book you were talking about. So there's 2 more issues. So it's probably
next month.
It is next month.
Next month, because this book comes out twice a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be my DCBS order that comes at the beginning of next month. It'll be the DCB order that comes after that. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
We're all trying to get it.
I may try to get another one through Midtown, but I'm almost 100% sure the moment it goes live, that site's going to freeze. Everybody who has the best internet's going to buy it, and then you'll see them on eBay for $70. So if you can get it, get it. And then when Punchline gets oversaturated and nobody cares anymore, you'll be seeing them in the $1.50.
I don't think it's going to be that cheap ever.
I'm making a joke. I mean, it'll be like in the $3, $4. It'll be back to cover price. It won't be as expensive anymore.
Or it could be more expensive. We'll all have to see.
It's a scale. It can go either way depending on the character.
Did that Batman Damn book ever get more expensive, or is it still like 75?
It's still like, I think it's around 60. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's still pretty good. That's still a pretty good price
for a book that's not new. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have it. I'm not selling it though.
I do have that one. I had my brother get it because there was no other shop where I lived that had it, and by him, he was able to get it. So I don't even know if he ever gave it to me. One of these days, I'm gonna have to get my Batman, but I think you gave it away.
Need
Yeah.
the penis. So we got
I need it in my collection.
Young Justice number 14. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping after this arc we can get away from the multiverse jumping.
So many characters.
And
I'm not reading it. I'm not jumping back on him, but I don't care if Sideways is on it. Sideways needs that.
No, you're right. You're right. Sideways isn't important, but Stephanie's in it. So.
Sideways needs to have his own book again. I don't need to read him in Young Justice because he's going to probably get a 30-second panel time.
If you're lucky, if he even talks. Yeah, we'll see. I'm picking it up. I like these characters a lot. I will pick up any Stephanie Brown book ever. If it's just like
not a Stephanie Brown
no,
book,
she's in it. She's in it. If there's a book with Stephanie Brown in it, even if it's just all pages are blank, but somehow Stephanie pops up on the cover or something, I'm getting that issue.
What if it's to the point where she doesn't even have a face? You know how they draw comic book characters with no eyes and no nose, like she's off in the distance.
Does she talk?
No, she's just off in the distance. Like,
okay, then maybe I wouldn't pick it up. But if she's talking and the artwork is horrible, she's a stick figure, I'd still get it.
What if she just makes a laugh and she goes, "Hey"?
She'll get it. No, she'll get it. She'll get it. If it's a $3.99 book, Cat will buy it.
An expression.
Depends on the book. If it's a Young Justice issue, I'd get it. I love my Stephanie Brown.
That book just sucks for me. There's too much going on in there.
I'm waiting for the issue where there's supposedly going to be a Superboy-centric story where it kind of takes.
You're going to be waiting a long time.
No, wasn't it? Isn't it slated for right after this arc?
I thought that was already happening. Wasn't he in his little?
No, one about his like.
Isn't that in Superman?
Is it in Superman? If it's in
Superman.
Oh, I won't be reading it then anyway. But it's going to impact him in Young Justice, so I'll see how Young Justice goes with this arc and going into the next one. If I don't like it, I'm just going to let it go.
You know, I feel bad. We dog DC so much.
It's hard, yeah. I mean, but it's not our fault. Let's be honest. Give us a good story. Give us a good book, and then we won't. I mean, how many years, Mike, have we dogged Marvel? Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We've done our share for both companies. It's just right now.
I just feel like it's DC's been like really a long time now on this shit end of the stick.
We have Batman White Knight. We're still good. We got that one book.
Batman's
we had
good.
Dial H was really good. I love Naomi, but they just stopped writing it. So
I like Justice League. I like Justice League.
I like Justice League as well.
Aquaman had his baby.
He did have a baby. I didn't read it. With the horror books, you have Dollhouse.
Yep.
Dollhouse is good. Yeah.
And I like Basket Full of Heads. So we got some. Oh, Teen Titans. Teen Titans are ultimate. That's our book.
Is the overall consensus here.
Yeah. So hopefully they just release more books because that's the thing. There's just no new books coming out. So it's just like all the same stuff over and over again. And that's why it makes it hard to grab onto a book.
And Batman White Knight's almost over.
They're going to make a sequel.
Already. I know they're going to make a sequel, but that's going to take a little while.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm really at this point. I feel like, and Mano said this at the beginning too. DC is trying to fix too much, and they're not fixing, and it's getting more messy. And it's nobody's fault. I mean, you've got a lot of teams working on their books. You know, everybody's trying to do something, and there were several reboots. There was a try to fix the reboots. It's this. They just have to. I think the whole team, the entire company, has to sit down and really say, okay, here's what's happening in all these books. What are we going to do to try to get this universe fixed a little bit, sweep everything together and try to make a I don't think they should be doing grand plans right now. I think that's their issue. They're like, what's the next event? Yeah, not a grand plan, just something that, I mean, you got Grant Morrison doing Green Lantern here. You've got Flash doing the Godspeed thing now here. You've got Justice League up here. You've got Nightwing down here, Batman over here, another Batman over here. And the three Jokers are in space somewhere.
But my argument to that is that Marvel is kind of similar in that regard too. It's like Immortal Hulk. Who's he interacting with?
That's
nobody
true.
really.
Very
but
true.
It's a book that is it got that creative team, and it had a beginning, middle, and end. I think with DC, there's like in a while there hasn't been a beginning, middle, and end story. It just feels like it just keeps going. And there's no direction for individual titles. And that's been my problem overall. It's just like there's no excitement in Batgirl or Superman. It's just like, what story you try and tell? It just feels like it's going through the motions a lot of the times.
And then the books that we did have just ended.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Exactly.
missing, and then you're missing those key characters that maybe other people have missed. Like we talked
Green
about
Arrow.
before, Green Arrow, Deathstroke, right? What else ended? Supergirl's ending.
I would like somebody to take over Green Lantern after a year.
Green Lantern, yeah, Green Lantern Corps.
Yep.
I want to see something more than Hal.
Huh?
I want to see something more than Hal. I would love to see a book that just focuses on that whole world. Yeah, exactly. I would like to see, Carol, Jessica, everybody in that book, and maybe one arc focuses on Jessica, and then another arc focuses on Guy. Like, I think it would be nice to feel like it's a Green Lantern family book.
I think it would be cool to do like a Green Lantern Corps book and focus on where. So, Kat, you make a good point. Focus on where certain characters are up until a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start getting them together to do missions and stuff. But it'd be cool to be like, oh, issue 1, this is where Kyle Rayner's been. Issue 2, this is where Jessica Cruz has been. And you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So that would be cool. That would be great character development to get an update on these characters. And then they come together as a team once again to do all their all their stuff and keep it grounded too, because we know that's what makes these books kind of fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, keep them about the characters. I feel like it's been a while since we've just had a character-driven story and just interesting twists and turns. And yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like every character had its potential at different points in time in DC. We just have to try to find a way where all of them will have that, like where we can sit down and say, I like Flash, I liked Batman, all these really good things are going on for all of these characters. You got good stories, good artists, and it doesn't have to all, like Kat said, Marvel's all over too, but at least something that's a little bit more cohesive. It feels like a mess. It really does feel like a mess. It feels like editorial doesn't know where they're going.
Yeah. Marvel is cohesive though. Like they tie in their stuff pretty good with each other.
I would say in the recent years they've been doing a good job. Again, that has not been a forever. Yeah.
No,
as of right now,
within the past couple years when they had
after Secret Wars, I feel like they did a better job.
Yeah, because when they had the all new and all different and the X-Men, when the X-Men came back then, I thought that was all screwed up too. Like we talked about that too. Right. X-Men Gold was completely different from X-Men Blue, and they never felt like the mutants were together. Now it feels like the mutants are together for sure.
And then you had that what was the Age of X-Men? But I actually was thinking about this the other day. Isn't it interesting? Age of X-Men came out right before Krakoa. Maybe it was a fill arc, but maybe it's a precursor of what Krakoa is going to do, because it shows like what happens when you have Paradise. And I'm curious to see if it'll ever tie in. I don't think it ever will, but I don't know. In the back of my head, I want to think it does.
Dude, you know what book was good for X-Men? That Astonishing X-Men. That little run that they had.
Dazzler.
Yeah, that book was Havoc was so good in that book, man. So good.
Fun. At least X-Men's back on track. I think that's what's making Marvel, I guess, why we've been putting it higher, is because our franchises we really like are really good. You got X-Men, you have Spider-Man, and then like our individual characters. They also give tries to like, all right, we're getting a Power Pack miniseries, And yes, are they flooding the market? That's a whole different conversation. But at least there's always books to try out, and I'd rather have more options than less options.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. You don't have to buy and read everything. You pick.
No, we don't.
You're like, yeah, and we don't. I don't think any of us can.
So Ruben says, I loved when they had all the cores, like the Red Lantern Corps, the Sinestro Corps, the Blue Lantern. Yeah, I really enjoyed that time period too. I love the freaking Red Lantern series. That shit was awesome. I love how Guy Gardner kind of like became a Red Lantern. That book was hysterical too. You had Bleeds and you had all those different characters, and it's like, look, where are they now? Like they're just
they're gone. They disappeared,
right? And look at Larfleeze.
Where the hell did he go? Yeah,
he anymore. Yeah, they're all
I mean,
gone.
where is Guy? Where's Kyle? I mean, there's not even just the other cores, it's those characters too. But then it goes into what I was saying is actually a good thing was that because Grant Morrison has his own run, it's just that Grant Morrison's a very specific type of flavor that it's not going to cater to everybody. It's definitely not my thing.
Fans, which he does have a strong fan base.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's people like us that like the way Green Lantern was going with Johns and Vendetti. We're like, yeah, this isn't what I want to read.
Right. And the Blackest Night says DC writing can be bad at times, but I think the DC art is miles ahead. The covers are better and they have more imaginative panel breaks. Well, I
agree with that.
The art is good. The covers are much better quality on top of it too. They don't fall apart in your freaking fingers. And I think that DC does have better quality comics in general. But yeah, they do have better art, but man, them stories, man, they're just rough. And that's a huge part of it, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some good writing. I mean, right now Dan Didio left or was released, one or the other, and now Jim Lee's at the head. Rumors are Jeff Johns is popping in a little bit, trying to help out. Maybe they'll try to straighten some stuff out. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. We'll see what's going to happen. I think 5G is still going to happen. A lot of people are like, 5G isn't going to happen. I think it's still going to happen.
They can't just stop it because it's been in their plan for a while, and they need to do it because if they don't do it, they're not going to have any books to come out. So they need to do it.
But then I think they might, after this 5G, they'll make it maybe an event instead. And then after that, we'll get past 5G and we'll see where the new management, where the new editorial or the updated editorial will take us. And hopefully it'll be better. I want to love DC. This is the universe I grew up in. I know Mike grew up with Marvel. Kat, I think you were Marvel.
I did. So I grew up with DC, but I grew to love Marvel more growing up. So like my dad showed me like Superman comics, but then like I got into Marvel more. So yeah, I would say Marvel for me more.
I grew up with DC, so I want to see them do better. I want to see them up there again. You know, they were up there for a time, and then they just kind of like New 52 down, Rebirth back up again, and then delays and everything brought things down. Stories that were making no sense, taking place all over the spectrum, and there has to be a fix. I believe there's a fix, and I think that we have good enough editorial that they'll fix it. I believe that at least.
We do have a question from Tevia. Why not cancel 5G? Because money is put into it. Stories have been done. You can't do that, or else comics won't come out and they'll lose money.
But then you got to think about it. Like, feel for the creators that wrote those stories. Like
that too, yeah.
They put a lot of work into that story, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, just kidding. And it's just like, how does that look towards the creators? You know,
and what books do you have coming out then? If everything was dedicated to 5G, it's pretty much saying like if they weren't confident about the New 52 and they're just like, nah, they can't do that. Like I would say maybe not millions, but thousands of dollars would be in the can,
right?
If they did that. So it's also a business.
We can think about comic, especially DC and Marvel. They plan at least a year and ahead. Right now, we're in March 2020. They're writing March 2021. They're a year ahead already. They've already done, in their minds, 5G is done and they're in the middle of it. They can end it and bring us into something else, but 5G is going to happen. You can't just not do it. You won't have anything. You'll literally you'd have to have creators pulling day and night shifts to cover up everything you've done already. And what about all that work? Like Kat said, like Mike said, you're just gonna take it and file it away? No, it's insulting to the creators. It's heartbreaking for the writers and the artists that have dedicated a lot of time already to these books, a lot of time to this story. Finish it, end it, move on, like they did with New 52.
And that's why solicits exist. I mean, usually that's where they're at. The writers is right from where that solicit was. They're probably an issue or two ahead of that.
Right.
It depends on the writer, but it's not like the book was written yesterday and then it just comes out. It's just like It's a long process to make a comic. It takes a very long time, and you have to be far ahead to make these comics.
I agree. I completely agree. I would love to see a writer Rick Remender come over to DC. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying that. Definitely just need more creators at DC in general.
Why can't they rename DC 5G into something
They
else?
can. I think they are Generation Zero, whatever they're calling
Yeah,
it.
they could. It could become I mean, it's a year-long thing so far. So they can just do like a year of the villains and just make it an event name instead.
Just
They
name
can
it
make
Generations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They could just turn this new status quo into a event that takes place over the course of 12 to 13 months. It depends how long, they have to finish up their stories in it. I love this one. Nobody liked the thing that hasn't come out yet.
Right? Yeah, let's not judge until we see it.
Exactly. All right, let's get back to these books so we can round things out. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 41. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Boomerang, finally.
Yeah, man, we need to get back on track with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Cable issue number 1. I'm looking forward to trying this series out. I mean, we've talked about Cable several times already. I'm really interested in seeing where they go with this book.
It's interesting because I saw Mike message on his group that he hates the art. I actually really like the art. So
I'm okay with the art.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm okay with the art. It doesn't bother me that much.
I was not a fan of that artwork. I'm like, oh boy, but I'm hoping that I can get that Scotty Young variant cover, hopefully.
To make it worth it.
Yeah. Books that I'm on the fence about, I always try to get a variant cover, so then I make it, at least it's worthwhile that way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely giving issue 1 a try. I always liked Cable, and interested to see what this young Cable will bring us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We have Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 1. I wasn't going to read this book, but I actually decided I kind of pulled the mic here. I got the variant for it because I really like the variant, and it looks interesting. Star Wars has been really knocking them out of the park. You're never going to get me to read Dr. Aphra issue 1 whenever that comes out.
No, I'm still not reading that. I don't care how much people like it. I just don't. I'm not going to get into that character.
I won't read that, but I mean, Star Wars and Darth Vader both were good. So, and even I read the Kylo Ren. It's
good.
It's really good. The Kylo Ren. I read the 3 issues. 4th one comes out.
Didn't Tom Taylor write that? I think Tom Taylor wrote that, right?
I don't think so.
Kylo Ren
issue comes out. I got it in trade instead because the first issue sold out. But I love the mini also, so I'm really looking forward to Bounty Hunters.
Charles Soule.
Yeah, Bounty Hunters does look good. I'm into the Bounty Hunter situation when it comes to Star Wars. It also takes place, I think, around in that same time period that they're all around. And so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, and we got speaking of Star Wars, Darth Vader issue number 2 comes out tomorrow as well. I'm really looking forward with the Padme mystery.
Yeah, what the heck is that all about, man? Like, is he just seeing things? Is it the Emperor like manipulating his mind? Like, what's going on there, man?
I agree. And I love new Star Wars, Darth Vader and Kylo. All 3 are great.
Where's Leia, though? I mean, I know she's in the regular Star Wars book, but
she's frozen in carbonite.
She deserves a book where she's just in carbonite for the whole issue. She could be frozen. It's fine.
She's the next frozen princess.
Oh, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Her and Elsa.
And then we're finishing off with X-Men issue number 8. I've been loving the X-Men series. So
this one has to do with the Brood. So the Brood are making their way towards Krakoa now.
You know what's interesting? Runaways is going to do an issue where Molly has to decide if she's going to go to Krakoa or not. And I just saw the cover for it, and Molly's taller than Wolverine. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, going back to X-Men, the actual X-Men book.
Yeah,
every issue is so interesting. I don't know, it's so all over the place, but in such a cool way.
Yeah, and then you got the Brood, which is kind of cool because it's like they're a classic X-Men villain, but it's not like they're not like mutants, right? So it's like that's very easy to bring them back and have them be a pain in the butt for the X-Men here.
Mike, you have a comment.
Acme has a bunch of them. I'll
hold
one for you. Which one?
We talked about a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably Scotty Young Cable variant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if that's the one that you're talking about, that'd be awesome.
And then we have a comment about a book we don't have on the list. How about
I think that's next week.
Oh,
so
next
it's not this week, but yes. I mean, I'm excited for that, so I'm picking it up.
We'll talk about that next
Woman. I put like I think 3 or 4 variants for that one.
Really? I'm
Yeah,
only
I
getting one for
the-
that. But
The Art Germ, the J. Scott Campbell, the regular cover, and then the other cover that's like the regular cover, except she's wearing the red,
Awesome.
her traditional costume.
we'll have to see if it meets our expectations of Dennis Hopeless run, because we love that run. So yeah, that was so good. But I'm excited to see a new direction for her. We went off topic, but yeah, X-Men. Been good.
It's all good. It shows you how much more excited we are for certain books.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
New
that's why
books coming
I
out.
think that's what DC lacks is like, again, going back to that conversation, it's like they lack the new books, so you're not excited for anything. Here, we're always constantly getting new books to try. And
Yeah, exactly. Sample out. Even if they're just minis, they're fine. Like, just give us a short run. Just that's totally okay. But I agree. Every week there's a new Marvel book to look forward to.
Yeah, and we could, and I mean, DC could do the same thing. I mean, they had like the Wonder Comics minis.
New 52 also. Like, New 52 was such a joyful time in some regards. Obviously, a lot of people pay the New 52 also, but when it first started, it was so exciting when you're like, oh my God, I'm going to read Batman this week.
I hated New 52 for the universe, but as far as what they were doing, there were no big events. Everything was miniseries, main series, and then when a miniseries ended, another miniseries started. So there was always a certain amount of books coming out. Even when one book ended, another began.
But their release schedule was really cool. I really love that. It just felt so.
It's like one month you got so many books, the next month you got so many books, the other
that
month
was
you
never
got so many
over.
books. And it was cool. You got to try out all these books, and it's just like, again, that's what I think Marvel, like, I know we complain like Marvel has so many books, but they always give you something to try at least, you know, and something to possibly be excited about. Like, when you look at the amount of Marvel books I think that are coming out, I don't know if it's tomorrow or next week, but I think like tomorrow, I think there might be 28 Marvel books and 15 or 14 DC books.
And some of them are just like, here's a trade for like a graphic novel for DC as well. And they're all the same. It's just like, oh, I don't read Aquaman. I don't read Batman the Outsiders. I don't read this. I don't read that.
Another good example of how much Marvel puts out. This is the DC previews book. I don't know if it's going to come out. I hope it comes out right.
Yeah,
this is
it does.
how much DC is. This is the Marvel preview book. Can you see the difference? I'm going to try.
Not really, but I trust you.
I'm trying to get them.
Yeah, no, you can. You can.
You can see that there's very much a
sure.
thicker Marvel than D. I'm sorry, this is.
Yeah, I was right. There's 28 Marvel
tell
books.
How heavy it is.
28 Marvel books tomorrow, and then 15 DC books.
That's crazy. That's more than double.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you could complain how many X-Men books there are, but you don't have to read all of them at all. And there's room. And the thing is, I would feel bad if it meant that there were other characters not getting a chance, but there are other characters that they are giving a chance. Again, Power Pack is getting a miniseries. You got New Warriors getting a miniseries. So it's not like we're not getting other characters.
Empire starting as well.
Yeah, and then you got your events and stuff, and you don't have to read them. I feel like they're not as tied in as they used to be. So Juggernaut, you got coming out. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting
heavily
stuff.
tied in event this year.
But I'm interested to see if it, like, the thing is, it used to be where you're like, you had to read the event to even follow through with your favorite series. These days, I think you could kind of catch along with what's going on if you're not reading the main event. You just got to know the gist of what the main event's about.
Exactly. But that's why I'm starting to read previews again. I'm starting to figure out what books I'm going to be getting and in what type.
I always get the previews. I just flip through them real quick and then I just throw them out in the garbage.
You know,
what am I going to do with it?
My original idea, originally why I was buying the previews was I was going to do what Mike does on his channel where I have the camera on the book and I go through.
Oh, you buy the previews?
Huh?
I just get them for free.
Well, I get it. I pay 99 cents from DCBS and I get all three books.
They just, throw them at me.
Oh, DCBS, they just, they have to.
They just need that 99 cents.
They need that 99 cents. So Mike, do you get yours for free?
I think the Marvel previews is free.
No, Marvel previews is I think $1.
No, mine's free. Like mine will be on their stands and it will be for free.
Yeah, you're right.
See, they just hand it to me when they hand it to me when I get my book. So they'll give me I'll have my poll and then they'll just put it on top.
Or you just get these?
Which other one were you asking?
Do you get the big book? Because these.
Oh no! Only those two. Just the DC.
Okay, these
and
both are
Marvel.
free. That's why I buy.
Yeah.
I buy this also. I get this book also for the Independents.
Look at this cover.
I don't
for
get that.
Queen's Academy.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Wow, looks cool. They actually like went to New Orleans to like actually, do research for the book. I think that's pretty cool. Previews make good dummy fillers for your short boxes. That is true. I just like I have so many books around, especially like I get like a lot of comps and stuff because of work, and it's just like too much going on. I gotta like take some of this away. So and then also like because of work, I know what books are coming out, so I don't need to look at the previews usually. I look at the previews for the actual like previews, like to look at the teases for the books. Like they usually give you like 3 pages of non-release stuff. I like looking at that stuff.
If anybody wants a previews code, if you'd like it, here's a previews code. If you'd like to get the book,
whoever the first one is,
whoever the
grab
first
that.
one is, I'm not doing a contest. You can just put that in. You get it. You don't. Somebody else got it. But this is your digital previews. Gives you previews. I think it gives you Marvel and it gives you DC as well. There you go. I don't use it, so I don't know. I'm thinking about doing what Mike does and doing a live show talking about my previews. I originally wanted to do that, and then people talked me out of doing that and tried something different. Didn't like that, so we'll see. I might do it on Dark Avenger.
Gotta try it out. And I think those are all the key issues, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, X-Men 8 was the last one. So with that being said, does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about before we end the show?
I do. So this weekend, Saturday at 5, Eternal Con's not happening. Not Eternal Con. Emerald City Comic Con's not happening. So Russell Nordy is doing Comic Con virtually, and I'll be on one of the panels there. So it's going to be Saturday. I'm going to post the link. It's going to be Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be on one of those panels. So you could sign up for a ticket. It's free. It just sends you an email when we go live. And then also I'm gonna check out like File Like Daughter issue 5 and stuff. But the trade digitally should be coming out tomorrow. So I have the links for that for like File Like Daughter. And check out issue 5 that was recently released, and they call her Dancer. And then my mailing list I update every week.
As far as me, I was going to have my Why I Brought My Comic Review Back article up today, my post up today on my channel, on my website. I ended up crashing right before finishing, so I'm going to be finishing it tonight. So more than likely you'll be seeing it tomorrow unless I have to do some edits to it, which I always like reading over my stuff and editing it before posting. So look forward to that in the next couple of days. I have an unboxing I'm working on. I'm looking at that right now. And I might do I might do 3 preview videos, one for DC, one for Marvel, and then one for the gigantic book that I'm looking at that has a lot of really cool stuff. I'm going to go broke, everyone. I really am.
That's the real answer.
That's the real truth of it all. When you love comic books as much as we do, you spend a lot of money.
You definitely do. That's why we have our chopping block every week.
Exactly. You have to. If you don't chop something
money.
off, you save money for something else. Exactly. Because if you don't chop, you're broke.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I would do it's so interesting not to go on like too much of a side tangent, but just like comparing how many books I used to get. Like I remember like 20 was the minimum books I would get. Now I'm at like 10.
Well, I mean,
you
and Mike have comic shops that give you guys, I'm sure, like really good deals, really awesome stuff. I just go straight off the internet. So whatever the price is, it's not like I'm making friends with the DCBS or Midtown folk. They don't know me, and they ain't giving me nothing except the price that's on the website.
Yeah.
Oh, we're glad you were able to catch it too. Hopefully we'll see you next week, Gerald.
Yeah, thank you everyone who watched. 34 viewers. That was one of our highest in a while total.
Right.
So that was cool.
I just want to say something real quick before we sign off. Yeah, if you guys are watching on my channel on Comic Book Corner 2.0, don't forget I got my my Facebook page I'm trying to grow, guys. It's called
Let me get the link.
Comic Book Corner 2.0. Webheads Unite. Guys, check it out. I have exclusive videos on there that I post that I don't do on my YouTube channel. We get all kinds of cool questions and articles and artwork and all kinds of cool stuff there. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that post their hauls and stuff, so it's a good time. And then also on Friday, I'm debuting a new top 10 series because you guys tend to like those. So this one is going to be called the top 10 pulled comics for the week of 3/11/20. So basically what it is I do the research and I figure out which ones were top pulled based off of a particular website, and we see which book winds up winning for the week. It could be a book I don't even
Cool.
read. So that's
really interesting. Awesome.
Straight thing from there. So another new series. So then I'll have videos Monday through Friday.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome.
Finally filled up each day there.
A whole week. Really quickly, I do want to mention my group, which is just straight up Dark Avenger Nation.
Also get the link for that.
I got it.
You got it?
Dark Avenger Nation doing the same thing as Mike, trying to get a group of people together, talk comic books and everything else. Mine is way newer than Mike's. I just started working on it now. I'm trying to get everything situated on YouTube and everywhere. So my group's still in the works, but slowly we're building up. We have an awesome community over there. Would love to work together with Mike on something at some point, maybe a group crossover. I think that would be fun. I am working on exclusive ideas for the group as well. Nothing yet. And I would also like to mention, as Mike said, also, this is streaming on both Comic Frontline and Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you're watching this on Frontline and you're not subscribed to Comic Book Corner 2.0 or vice versa, if you're watching this on Comic Book Corner 2.0 and not on Comic Frontline, come over to whichever channel opposite, subscribe, give the video a like, check out all the awesome stuff on both channels. As Mike said, he now has a full Monday through Friday schedule. Over here on Comic Frontline, we have Comic Book Weekly, as well as our topic videos each and every week. We all have our individual channels, which I forgot to put that up. I mentioned Comic Book Corner 2.0. There's my channel, Dark Avenger C86, Cat's channel, Comic Uno. We do lots of comic book discussion. Brand Last Ember Press, that's our comic company. You can go check that out as well. Michael, Due to Rock 18, does not do comic stuff on his channel, but does vlogs and unboxings and other things. So you can check that out on Michael's channel. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope to see you all next week for another awesome episode of Comic Book Weekly. Love each and every one of you. Happy New Comic Day tomorrow. Take care. And we'll see you next time.